Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Now, when I walked into the hotel, you could cut the enthusiasm with a knife. I loved it. I tell you, I needed some excitement. The last part of my life has been pretty dull, so. I want to thank, first of all, let me congratulate our new chair, who's back there taking photos, Nikki. I think we're in great shape. I want to thank everyone who made tonight happen. Stephen and your team, thank you so much for the invitation. Stephen had told me that I had 12 minutes to talk tonight. I said, I don't need that much. I'll take like 11 and a half. But look, it's good to be with Democrats, to celebrate a night, a weekend like this, where we are celebrating democratic values, which are American values, life and liberty, fairness and freedom, and I know it's a bad word to say in the state of Florida, but I'm going to say it anyway, diversity. Yes, diversity, that value that's enshrined in our national motto, E pluribus unum, out of many we are one. So I was asked tonight to talk about my suspension and everything going on, so let me give you a little bit of context for that. I want to take you back to August 4th, what I thought was going to be an ordinary day for me. As a prosecutor, I was sitting in my office in Washington, D.C. I'm talking about August 4th of 2009, 13 years ago. I was working as a federal prosecutor with the U.S. Department of Justice. My wife was 8 months pregnant with our first child. And she had a doctor's appointment that morning. Usually I would have driven her and gone with her, but I was actually preparing for trial with my office, and so I didn't. And I received a frantic phone call. My wife had been in a car accident, and she was rushed to the hospital. And of course, I left the meeting I was in, and I rushed to the hospital. And I made it in time to watch my son being born. And I was able to spend 15 minutes with him before he was taken off life support. Bearing a child changes your life. I can't begin to tell you the mountain of emotion that I've gone through over the past 13 years. What I can tell you is how that experience really focused me on what truly matters in life. Strengthened my values, my love of family, my dedication to public service. You know, my son and now my 2 daughters inspired me to run for state attorney back in 2016. They inspired my vision of criminal justice. And it's a vision that starts with making our community as safe as possible so that no mother or father ever has to bury a son or comfort a daughter who've been victimized by crime. It's a vision about making our system better, more fair, and more just, so that regardless of the color of your skin or the contents of the wallet, you're treated equally. It's about making our community stronger by building a 21st century criminal justice system that can be a model for our state and for our country. That was my vision. And for 6 years that I had the privilege of serving as state attorney in Hillsborough, I worked tirelessly to achieve that vision. And I'm extremely proud of what we accomplished. From being tough on violent offenders to improving and increasing diversion programs for low-level offenders, to going after sexual predators, to disarming domestic abusers, to being engaged with our community. I'm proud that we were the first state attorney's office in Hillsborough to walk in the Tampa Pride Parade. It's still a very special moment for me that I have friends and colleagues in the office who told me how meaningful it was for them, after having served in that office for their career, to be able to participate in the Pride Parade, something that we've done every year and been in office since. So that was what I worked for 6 years. Now, flash back to just about 6 months ago. On August 4th, 2022, what would have been my son's 13th birthday, a day that I had always taken off to be with my family. But last year, I didn't take that day off because we had something so important happening in the state attorney's office. We were indicting 2 cold cases from the early 80s, charging 2 men with the rapes and murders of 2 young women cases that had gone unsolved for 39 years, cases that my office was only possible to investigate and prosecute because we'd exonerated the innocent man who had been wrongfully convicted and locked up in prison for 37 years. That's what I was doing. That's what I was doing that day. Prosecuting rapists and murderers, delivering justice to victims and their families who had waited 4 decades for it. That's how I was doing my job. At the very moment I was suspended for allegedly not doing my job. Jeez. The universe has a cruel sense of irony sometimes. So what's happened? Well, we filed suit against the governor. We went to trial last November. We got an order in January, and the order from the federal judge was crystal clear. The governor broke federal and state law in suspending me without any legal basis in a politically motivated move. Let me repeat that. The governor of this state broke state and federal law in taking me out in a political hitch-up. That's what a federal court found. Now, the judge said that he didn't have the jurisdiction to reinstate me. We've appealed on that very narrow issue. We've also filed suit in Florida State Court with the Supreme Court to try to get the Supreme Court to order the governor to do as he swore to do, which is to uphold the laws of Florida and of the United States. So where did that leave me? Who knows? But I tell you, this has never been about me. This has always been about much bigger issues. Free speech. The governor attacked me because I spoke out in support of abortion rights and transgender rights. He attacked me because I talked about a woman's right to choose, and I stood up against the criminalization and the discrimination of transgender Americans. So I'm fighting to make sure that even though Ron DeSantis is the governor of Florida, the First Amendment still has meaning in our state. This is about democracy. DeSantis suspended me because he disagrees with me politically. He disagrees with the 370,000 people in Hillsborough County who re-elected me in 2020. But I'm fighting to make sure that your vote matters and that our elections matter in the state of Florida, even though Ron DeSantis is the governor. And this is a fight about the rule of law. You know, somewhat ironically, when the governor announced my suspension at some political circus of a press conference, he said, "This is a government of laws and not a government of men." Yeah, Ron, I couldn't agree more. A federal judge has found that you broke those laws. The Florida Constitution and the U.S. Constitution. The constitutions that you put your hand on the Bible and swore to uphold when you were sworn in as governor. A man of integrity and honor would have taken that oath seriously. But apparently not our governor. So I'm fighting to make sure that in the state of Florida, the rule of law still matters. I tell you, these are dangerous times for our state. Think about the craziness that's coming out of Tallahassee, what our governor and the Republican leadership is telling us. This is just in the past few weeks. Having more guns with less regulation makes us safer. Vaccines make us sick.
Crazy.
Banning books promotes education. Restricting your voting improves our democracy. Taking away your rights makes us more free. My friends, we are living in 1984. And I'm not talking about the year, I'm talking about the book. Welcome to Florida. That's where we are. Now, the governor likes to brag about this being the free state of Florida. I asked, does it feel free to you?
No.
So I lost my son, but I'm blessed to have 2 daughters. My older daughter is 11 going on 14. My little one is 9 going on 6. And my older daughter is a competitive softball player. Her little league team actually won the state championship last summer. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about tonight. I just wanted to brag about it.
Go for it. It's okay.
Last week she had her first game of the season. Her team was down 5 runs. They clawed back to within 1 run. Bottom of the last inning, of course, my daughter gets up, bases loaded, 2 outs, chance to be the hero, chance to win the game. She struck out.
Aww.
I've been coaching her since she was about 5. I went. She was devastated. I said, don't hang your head. Don't despair. You can never guarantee a hit. You can never guarantee a win. All you can guarantee is that you try your hardest, that you play by the rules, and you take this strikeout and this loss as motivation and inspiration so that the next time you have the opportunity, you can win. Now, I'm looking at a Democratic team here which has lost its fair share of games recently. We've had our fair share of strikeouts. We got a new manager that I'm really excited about. But we have to make sure that we don't hang our heads and that we don't despair. We need to take those losses as motivation and as inspiration. I can't guarantee what's going to happen. I can't guarantee that I'm going to get reinstated as the duly elected state attorney. I can't guarantee that Democrats are going to win the next election. I certainly can't guarantee that Ron DeSantis and his cronies are going to play by the rules in anything they do.
Right.
But what I can guarantee is this: we're going to fight like hell. We're going to fight like hell because the stakes are too high. This is a fight about our values, about our freedom, about our democracy. We have to fight against divisiveness and hatred and prejudice. We have to make sure that we are standing up for what we believe in and speaking out and voting, and that we're rising up for transparency and honesty and integrity and community. So, keep fighting. Keep fighting, as you all have, and as people who agree with us in this room around the state have been doing for years, because I can promise you this: we're on the right side of the issues. We're on the right side of truth, and we're on the right side of history. Thank you.
Yeah.